Ready or Not 2, Here I Come is, shocker, the sequel to the 2019 slasher horror comedy Ready or Not. Starting immediately after the events of that movie, this sequel takes the simple, smaller scale narrative and expands upon it into more of the same, with a few small tweaks as Samara Weaving's Grace has to survive another devilish game of hide and seek. I'm going to preface this by saying that I'm already not the biggest fan of Ready or Not, which I watched for the first time a few days ago. Samara Weaving is an incredible final girl, but the machinations of the story left a lot to be desired. It's perfectly fine, albeit shallow, popcorn horror. With this movie's tendency to simply retread the first, but make it bigger, my primary faults do in fact persist. Much of this stems from the broad strokes caricatures who fill out the villainous ensemble of uber-wealthy devil worshippers. Their characters, of whom there are far too many in this movie, are the most stereotypical Weasley rich people, and they kind of blend into an amorphous form that doesn't differentiate the Ready or Not duology from other Eat the Rich satire. The way I see it, there's not enough back and forth between Grace and the antagonistic forces to make the impending bloodbath seem worth it. I don't care about the antagonists, which makes the threat against Grace seem null and void. Hence, stakes are kaput. I know that's not the reason why people watch this kind of horror schlock, but a little bit of ample characterization would have made them feel more distinct within the story. As is, certain characters emerge with flair, with bells and whistles, but that's all there is. Nestor Carbonell, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Sean Hatosi, Kevin Durand, Mike Goat, David Cronenberg, etc. There's nothing really to the characters, even when the script attempts to clearly draw parallels to Grace, which ultimately fall flat in how in-your-face they come across as. I'm also not a fan of lore-heavy movies the way that this movie is. When it comes to horror as a genre especially, although my sentiment is shared across genre boundaries, I prefer inferred lore. It's more scary and mysterious that way, building suspense and intrigue into the intricate design of the setting. Although this movie's wider exposition is inherently tied to a fun and scene-stealing Elijah Wood, the constant stream of exposition detailing the satanic elements the first film nodded its head to has this movie being dragged through the dredges, even amidst the poppy, spectacle-first gore show the movie should have found its stride in. A couple of creative kills here and there do not absolve this movie of being a boring slog for a significant portion of the narrative, as everything needs to halt for a quick explanation of bylaws and other such rules within the cult's order. The only real positive here, which, don't get me wrong, is a good positive to have, is that Samara Weaving's Grace is a standout pop horror character for a reason. Come what may from the rest of the movie, she's giving it her all. The dry humour, especially when paired up with a delightful Catherine Newton, is delivered well and is a much needed and welcome detour from the stupidly mind-numbing ensemble of devil worshippers and their nonsensical shenanigans. Additionally, her scream is the single individual part of these two movies that I do like. It's something broken and primal, with an underlying ferocity that has given the duology its identity. There is no original, nor its sequel, without that scream. Ready or Not did not necessarily need a sequel, and, considering that this is the sequel that we got, I believe that it was unnecessary. It keeps the primary positive of the former, but also keeps all its problems, while tossing in a few of its own. Should have been more fun, and leave your brain at the door viewing, but it gets in its own way by expositing far too much. I can't call it bad, even when assailed by all its flaws. Samara Weaving truly keeps this movie hardly afloat, but she elevates it from a potentially bad movie to just particularly weak. Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. 2 stars. Well, that's all. Keep on watching movies, and form your own opinions. See you in the next one.